Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Tony R. Cabin of Woods. What I'm going to do today is my onions that I've had out in the garage. They need to go through, trim them up again, make them a little bit shorter. And also, let's start looking for some of the ones that have imperfections in them. Usually what happens, they'll get one side, it gets flat. And then that's where the softness starts in there. And the softness is okay. We'll just cut that out. But what I'm going to be making is onion powder. So we're going to head outside, out in the garage. We're going to go grab, I don't know, whatever we can find that needs to be cut now. And we're going to cut them up and get them in my dehydrator. But I'm also going to show you what I've been looking at and checking on. And we're going to test something on how not for your eyes to burn when you're cutting up onions. I am going to find the weaker of the onions. I'm going to bring them in the house and I'm going to start making onion powder. But the first thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to trim up. A lot of these onions are ready to be fully trimmed back. And I was going to show you. See how this is like paper already right now? Now we're just going to go ahead and trim this back right here. That's about 1.5 inches is what I always leave. Now we're going to let that dry really good. In the process of doing that, I will be looking for, see this onion still it's not broken down all the way. I'll just move it there. But in the process, I'm going to be grabbing onions and feeling them. If you feel a soft spot in them, those are the ones, see that's good right there? We'll cut it. When I find a soft spot one, then I'll make that move. Okay, here we go. Perfect example. You see how this one side is kind of flat? Guarantee about more than half of that onion is still good, and we're going to use it. So I'm just going to clip that all the way back, get that off the bottom, and we're going to use that onion. This one here is still not good enough. It's starting to. We'll cut it back here. But we're just going to be searching for onions and clipping these back as far as we can now. See that? Alright guys, I'm going to keep on searching. I'm going to keep on looking for bad onions or onions that are starting to show sign of, needing, alright, this is one right here. It's kind of flat right there. I'm going to leave that, maybe use it, we'll see. But see for how many of those other ones that I come across that need to be used before they spoil. I'm going to show you something else right here real quick. Here you go, look at that. Now, remember my last 18 onions I took out? These are them here. Now I'm going to show you something. You can see that they're really starting to dry out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead here later and I'm just going to do my normal trimming that I do. I'm going to go ahead and cut that back a little bit on these. Notice they're still dirty. You do not wash them off, ever. Only time you're going to wash these babies is when you're going to go ahead and start the process, whatever you're going to do. Look at that. Hold on, let me cut this back so you can get a really good look at how big this onion is. Here, let me try something here. Here's my hand. I got pretty big hands. All right. I'm going to say, there you go. That's a nice onion right there. Alrighty, I got them all trimmed except for a couple that were still kind of green toward the tips. These are getting close here. We'll take care of them later, but you can see I've shortened up the stack just a little bit. Oh, that was still green, okay? Just a little bit. But they're all looking good. I ended up with a bucket of them that had like the flat side. Can you see that's flat? And that's where they'll start to rot. I do have 2 in here. That is probably the 2 that's on the bottom. That is starting to get soft. So what I'll do is basically cut half the onion, throw it. Alrighty, I've got them all brought in here. I don't remember what I've got in there. Maybe 8 to 10 onions that I've taken. And so this is what we're going to do. there's several different ways, I guess they say, that we can go and limit or take away the burning of your eyes. Your onions, when you cut into them, of some word that I'm not going to attempt to say, but I'm going to put it somewhere at the bottom of the screen so you can figure it out, because I ain't saying it. Anyway, what I've seen is they say you can take the onions and put them in the refrigerator and get them, get them to refrigerate temperature. Or you can also put them in ice water, and what you try and do is cool down the onion. All right, this is the what I chose. I just didn't have time to put the onions in the refrigerator. What's that going to take? Maybe an hour or whatever. I didn't want to spend that kind of time. Plus, then my refrigerator will smell like onion all day. So I chose to put this in very cold water. We've let them soaked. They've now chilled. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can see some of these, how they have that flat spot on it right there. And this isn't soft, so this onion's still good here. But I did have a couple that were shown right there. That shows a little softness, but we're going to cut that out. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get all these in this bucket and start the process, or bring it over to the counter. What we're going to do, also I need to get a paper towel, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that here in just a second. Alrighty, here's another thing what they tell you about the paper towel. They say paper towel, wet it, don't wring it out, leave it wet. These gases that when you slice into an onion, the reason why you cry is because the gas is looking for moisture or wetness. Well, the closest thing is your eyes. So from what I believe they're saying is we have a wet towel sitting here that will attract. Don't know if that's going to work, but I've done a couple of things. I also added one more thing just now. You don't see it over here. I've got a tiny fan, which means I'm going to be, when I'm cutting, hopefully it'll blow everything this direction away from me. I do not use your household towel, because it's going to ruin your towel. Smell really bad. First thing, of course, anything, just get your ends cut off. Peel as much as you can. I like to make slices so I can put it in my dehydrator. This one here is flat. I told you about that flat. What happens to the onion when it's in there in the room? You can see it's dark right there. We'll cut that out here in a minute. But let's go ahead and remove that first layer. I'm gonna cut that out. Onion's fine, guys. Look at that. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and cut it in half, and we'll just start making slices. Now I'm not going to take you through all of my slicing and all that, but I'll bring you back when time comes to get all these onions. I'm going to break these all apart. You can see it. I'll bring you back when I'm putting this all on the dehydrator and get them done. Pretty sure everybody knows how to slice and dice onions. And here's the good news. As of right this minute, I have no sense at all of my eyes burning. Okay, here's a cut. Here's a junk. I do have one left, only because I believe I have enough onions for now. And we're just going to start laying this all on top of here. I need to get either a new dehydrator or get more of these round trays. I have said this many times and I never do it. I would like to get a new one though. But anyway, so we're going to keep on going. You don't have to be exactly precise about setting them or anything like that. The only thing I like to do is walk around and just make sure that you don't have double stuck together, because that'll just be more time for it to dehydrate. Now you can use your oven if you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably one of the last things I'd want to do, because your house will really start to smell onion. And yeah, I love onion. I don't want to put that in there. It's got still have part of that skin looking there. I love onions, but the smell, no. We'll pause on that one. And remember, this all will, by the time you're going to be done, a lot of stuff shrinks up to like very small. So it's fine to put some on there, a lot on there. But I don't like to get too carried away, but we're going to be pretty good, I think. Looking good, guys. Okay. For fruits, vegetables, it says 135. Look who shows up. Alrighty. Now, I move the onions out here and you can smell them. So we've got plugged in. It's on that metal tray. I'll just leave them out here and just let these babies cook down, and then maybe put that in the garage tonight somewhere. These have been on for about 30 hours. They're nice and crispy. They're really good. I actually tried and I ate one and you feel no moisture in them at all. See how they're just breaking apart? So now I'm just going to put them in this jar, and then I'm going to break out my little mini blending thingy I got, and we're going to grind this up, and we'll see how much onion powder I get out of this. If I need to do more, I brought in another bucket because I know this stuff will grind up pretty small. All right, guys, here you go. This is what I just use to grind stuff up. So all I got is the magic bullet. Works good for me, so we're going to get back after it. Where's the bottom to it? Oh, over here. All right. Yes, my hands are clean. All right, here we go. We're going to blend it up. All right. Let's see. Still a little bit of crumb in there, not much. We'll hit it some more. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it. Looks good. All right, I'm gonna put some more in here. Let's just do some more. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna do another batch. I think I am. So I can fill another jar. Because we do use a lot of onion powder. Let me show you what the jars I've got. Actually, here's the jar right here. And I've already got marked onion powder. We've made plenty of onion powder before. I've got another jar over here. So I probably will do another batch. Alrighty. Almost powder. Look at that. Still a little couple of crumbs in there, but there you go. Make sure you can see that. There you go. Look at that, huh? All right, guys, if you noticed, I went ahead and emptied that out. The reason is when you use the blenders and they're blending stuff up, it does produce, I don't know, a little warmth, you would say, or whatever, from the friction of it spinning. And I've learned before, if you pour that straight in here right away, and when it cools off as a block. And it's not because of moisture, because as you can tell, there ain't no clumps. This is all dry. All right, all of it's dry, complete. So what I like to do is put it in here, I stir it around, maybe for like 15 minutes, I just come around, stir it, let this cool off so it's cooler before I put it inside this jar. Here we go, round 2. I got 3 trays. If you remember my first set, I had them packed really good. This one I didn't do because I'm not going to need as much, so I'm only going with 3 trays. And of course, that goes to the compost pile. Hey, remember, throw your paper products and cardboard out there too. All right, now I need to get the lid on this, and we're going to head out in the garage and get that cooking up. All right, we've got it on. As you can hear, we're cooking. We're at 135. Look at that. That pile there was all from chicken manure, the garden waste, leaves, hay, everything. That's where this will come. We'll be doing the same thing with this one. All right, guys, here's my onion stuff I just had. And all I'm going to do is go on in here and just move some stuff around. Hey, I can't do it with one hand. Hold on. All right, look how that's already starting to break down. It don't take long. When you get it hot out, keep things wet, they'll break down really good. Look at that. All right, let's dump that in there. We've had enough rain to keep this stuff nice and wet. Let's just push that back over. One-handing it. Ah, there we go. Good enough. Look at this. Let's just kind of try to pick it up. Look at that breaking down. This is exactly right here is what that was. Looking good. That's for next year's gardening. Alrighty guys, here we go. Round 2 is done. This will be the last one to top off our onion containers. You see this break apart really good. I'm going to get all these inside there and then we'll blend them up. Look at that. 3 trays of onions. They're pretty much packed. And this is what you end up with when you're done. Isn't that insane? Here we go. That's our last container we need to fill. Looks good and dry. Yep, all right. There we go, guys. Onion powder. Look at the difference in the two. This one here was only on for about 24 hours. That one here was on for 30 hours. There's a lot more to do. So that may be the big difference. But there you go. Here's one. See, here's that. Yesterday's the one we did a couple days ago. And here's that one. And yes, that one's still loose. And hey, I appreciate you watching the channel and everything about YouTube and doing the homesteading stuff. I really enjoy doing anything gardening. I'm game on with it. So anyway, guys, you all take it easy. Have a great day. Stay cool. It's going to be really hot. And we'll see you in the next video. Once again, thanks for watching.